visit majestic halls, charity houses, archaeological sites of all civilizations here and there. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
South Africa is a delightful wonderland for nature lovers. Here, wildlife, including some endangered species, roam freely and undisturbed. Every year, millions of tourists from all over the world flocked here to experience the safari adventure. Besides wildlife, South Africa is also famous of its exclusive array of indigenous floras. Here is the captivating site of Cape Kingdom. Located at the southernmost of the African continent, South Africa has a semi-arid weather. It is hot during the day and cold at night. Measuring over 1.2 million square kilometers, South Africa is about the size of Iran. Although the country is huge, only about 1% of its land is suitable for farming. The Republic of South Africa has a population of 44 million, and the majority of them are Africans, whereas Indians, Malays and Khoisans are in the minorities. Here, there are 11 official languages spoken. The most common one is Afrikaan, while English, Sotho and Swazi are commonly used too. South Africa may be a thriving multicultural society, but it has a troubled past when it was placed under apartheid rule. Apartheid affected largely the black population, and their sufferings have not healed even today. Nevertheless, this sad episode of South Africa history has proved useful to educate its people and leaders about being united and of the evils of racial discrimination. With its large population and many tribes, the people of this country are also believers of different religions and beliefs: Christianity, Islam, Hinduism and animism. Only 2% of South Africans, or 400,000 people, are Muslims. Although they exist in small groups, Muslims in this country are free to engage in their religious commitments. In South Africa, believers of other faiths are not discriminated, although the majority is Christians. Despite their numerical disadvantage, Muslims have not lost sight of what they want to achieve. Here, Islam is the domain of Malay Cape and the Indian community. They may exist in small groups, but some of them hold important posts in the government. Whatever the circumstances, the calls to prayer for Muslims continue to be heard in South Africa. Cape Point is the southernmost tip of the African continent, and some think it is also the world's. Here is where two great oceans, the Indian and the Atlantic, meet. Nearby, the Cape of Good Hope has its own tale about the arrival of Islam in South Africa. It is believed that this is the location where Muslim missionaries first arrived to propagate Islam in the early 17th century. There are various versions and explanations detailing the arrival of Islam in this country. A theory suggests Islam came when slaves from the Malay archipelago were brought in by the Dutch and the British in the 17th century. The Table Mountains are a popular landmark here. Previously, these flat-top mountains had served as an important location reference for mariners. Now, more than 1,500 tourists arrive here every day on the cable cars. Each car makes the 1,000-meter climb in just a short 6 minutes. Its captivating panorama draws many visitors, and their arrival helps the country's economy. The story of how Islam arrived here is also reinforced through the history and the symmetry of Sheikh Yusuf Makassar. He has the honor of being regarded as the first person to have brought Islam to South Africa. Born in 1626, Sheikh Yusuf was a royal descendant. He was the nephew of King Bisu, the ruler of Goa at that time. South Africa is a developing country and rich in natural resources like gold, coals and jewels. Economically, South Africa enjoys a modest growth. Its unemployment rate is over 20%. Another important Islamic heritage site in South Africa is in this small town named Simonstad. Simonstad is located between Cape Town and Cape Point. According to history, Simonstad was once an important port. Here is where a precious piece of a translation significant to the Muslim community in South Africa is found. The task of translating the Quran from Arabic to Afrikaans was carried out by Imam M.A. Baker, a respected scholar in this country. Another attraction in Samanistan is the Nur al-Islam Museum. Although it is housed in an average building, the museum boasts of a myriad of fascinating exhibits. Inside, visitors will find a treasure trove of traditional Malay customs like clothing, kitchenware such as a stone pounder, grinder and Malay scriptures written in Arabic. Personal photographs of the Malay settlers are also exhibited here, especially those which showed traditional Malay wedding ceremonies. A visit to the museum will be rewarded by the opportunity to glimpse at the many social aspects of Malays, as their life is a Muslim minority in this country. The magnificent view of the Table Mountains can be seen from all over South Africa. It can also be viewed when taking the boat journey to the Robben Island. This historical island is located half an hour by boat from Cape Town. On the island is an infamous prison that once housed political detainees, leprosy patients and other ordinary prisoners. Nelson Mandela was also once detained here. And so was Sheikh Abdurrahman Mutura, an early Muslim missionary in South Africa detained for defying the Dutch rule. While he was imprisoned here, Sheikh Abdurrahman did not give up his aspiration to share Islam with other believers. His determination had successfully enabled other prisoners on the island to discover Islam. The link between Islam, the Cape Malays and Cape Town is inseparable. Among the responsibility of the Muslim Judicial Council is the administration of this madrasa and to introduce Islamic education. Subjects taught in the madrasa are Arabic, Islamic education, Usul al-Din and Sharia. Its curriculums are adapted from the Al-Azhar University in Egypt and Darul Uloom University in Pakistan. This arrangement has allowed the students to further their education in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Pakistan and India. They are truly remarkable students.
We shall visit majestic halls, charity houses, archaeological sites of old civilizations here and there.
This is the northern African state of Algeria. It shares its western border with Morocco, and in the north is the Mediterranean Sea. Throughout its long and colorful history, Algeria was often successively being occupied by several foreign forces. These steep paths and the Kasbah are among the remnants of the Ottoman Empire still found today. The 70-year efforts to propagate the faith in the northern region of the world's second-largest continent has made Islam the official religion in Algeria. This cactus pear is said to be good for digestion. This Islamic government was founded by Othman I. His empire covered the Balkan Peninsula and extended to the Middle East and Northern Africa. In 1708, the empire successfully reinforced the local Muslims to defend against the threats by Spanish invaders twice. Today, the remains of this profound era are still evident. These rows of busy shop houses selling dried food has been in business since 8 in the morning. Popular called the Grand Bazaar. They are common sight in this triangle-shaped Ottoman settlements known as the Kasbah. From the highlands to the coastal areas, the Kasbah served both as settlement and fort. In 1152, Algeria was under the rule of the Almohad government of Marrakesh in Morocco. It was part of several smaller states in the northern Africa, and the Moroccan power ruled this territory for over a century. During that era, several of these situating towns in Algeria enjoyed robust growth. In 1269, its administration were beginning to crumble, and its end was very much sealed. The fall of Almohad resulted in a scramble for its many ports by several Islamic and European states. Before its fall into the Spanish rule in the 16th century, this town had been in the hands of the Berber Marine dynasty for 162 years. When the Algerians were fighting the French over 50 years ago, they were inspired by the 19th century military religious leader Emir Abdul Qadir. 15 years after the French had taken Algeria, the Battle of Za'atashan was fought here. A local leader, Sheikh Bouziane, and his 2,000 Muslim fighters became martyrs against 10,000 French troops. This monument, built in 1962, stands majestically over 100 meters. It is the Maqam al-Shahid, or the memorial of the martyrs. Since the 7th century, strong Islamic faith has been instilled in the souls of every Algerian, and it has ignited the spirit of jihad against the presence of the French in 1834. Visitors to the monument will find the statues of 2 soldiers here to commemorate the sacrifices made by Algerians in their struggle to gain independence. Oran, located in the southwest of Algeria, also saw the arrival of Islam in the 7th century. Today, Islam continues to flourish here. Despite it once held the presence of foreign powers, the foreigners tried to introduce their culture and religion to the local population. After independence, places of worship built by the colonials were converted to mosques and made accessible to the people. Among them is the Saad bin Abi Waqqas Mosque. In Oran, children between the age of 5 to 13 years old are encouraged to attend these classes. The basic education is introduced at an early stage of their childhood, using the traditional method from ages ago. A thin wooden board, or lawaha, is popularly used to write the holy verses. This method is believed to be effective for the children to learn the Quran. The country is blessed with a myriad of wealth, and the people are grateful to Allah. The fresh fruits offered by the street vendors are an indication of Algeria's fertile land, and it also had provided the Romans with foods and fruits 2,000 years ago. Handicrafts of different shapes and colors are perfect gifts for discerning visitors. The handicraft originated from the desert spiny-tailed lizards. Here, fishing is in everyone's mind. and they all hope their outings will be successful. Obviously, the novices have much to learn compared with the experts. While many Algerians flock here during summer, they are also trying to put behind the infamous incident of the French troops landing and invading the country here. Ancient superpowers like the Romans, Vandals, Byzantines, and recently the Muslims, Spaniards, Dutch, and British have all once eyed these shores. During the Second World War, it was an Allied attack base for northern Africa. Great events took place along the shores of Algeria then. The call to prayer can be heard here at 130 meters above sea level. Here is the Khulafa Ar-Rashidin Mosque. With its Andalusian architecture,
أما بعد عباد الله إن الإسلام الحنيف يمتاز بخصائص كثيرة من بين هذه الخصائص الإنسانية.
this 33-year-old preacher is full of zest about his religious mission. He stresses the uniqueness of Islam as the purest faith that fulfills the needs of those who require guildness to lead their lives, especially when one meets the challenges of these modern times. The time span left by Prophet Muhammad requires the Muslims of today to be always steadfast to the Quran and Hadith for proper guidance. What the Imam fears is the disunity among the Muslims, like when it happened to the many small states in the northern Africa previously.
مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
It is hoped that Khulafa Ar-Rashidin Mosque will entice the local Muslims to continue to hold secretly to God's decree. Tlemcen means water hole in the Berber language. Located in the northwest of Algeria, the city of Tlemcen is rich with French influence. This European power arrived in 1842 and ended its rule in 1962. Islam came to this town in the 8th century when the Berber, who are the town's main inhabitants, accepted the faith. Its name was changed to Agadir. The great Almoravid commander Yusuf bin Tashfin made the town his capital in the 11th century and renamed it Tlemcen. Tlemcen flourished as the capital of central Maghreb under the rule of the Zianid dynasty, which controlled the trans-Saharan trade. Under the shade of this pomegranate tree, they have occupied all the open spaces. All of them are waiting. The calmness shown on their faces is most remarkable. At the other corner, an aged man is hard at work preparing tea to meet the demands of his clients. This is a common scene at a refreshment stall in Tlemcen. Chai knock knock, chai knock knock, or tea with mint is a popular local drink. It is also believed to be good for health. Over the years, the shop owner has tirelessly served his customers faithfully. The town is also known for its textile industry. Like the threads sewn to make a carpet. Numerous events also formed a distinctive history of Tlemcen and its people. Like the Andalusian music, the Mechua Palace too is resisting change and the advancement of time. Although many of its main structures were destroyed by the French, there are pieces of art which allow us a glimpse of what an elegant palace it must be not too long ago.
We shall visit majestic halls, charity houses, archaeological sites of all civilizations here and there. La 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 la.